The U.S. Secretary of Health Human Services, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is taking credit as two major food producers say that they will be pulling artificial dyes from their U.S. products. Kraft Heinz said on Tuesday that it will be removing artificial dyes from its U.S. products beginning in 2027. I spoke earlier with Dr. Sylvain Charlebois about what this means for the industry.
So, Dr. Charlebois, in your op ed, you said that the move is driven by market logic. Can you walk us through what you mean by that?
Well, I think the writing is on the wall. CPG companies, in particular, the large multinationals like General Mills and Kraft Heinz, know that consumers are growing impatient. They're concerned about health issues related to certain dyes, and they've actually started to reformulate many different products, including the mac and cheese product, which was reformulated a few years ago. So we've already seen some changes, but now what we're seeing is a big number of companies moving at the same time, which will actually make natural dyes cheaper. Why? Because there's going to be demand. And if there's demand for an ingredient, it is highly likely that production will be ramped up. And when production is ramped up, typically it would cost less and it will be easier for companies to have access to natural dye. So I think the logic makes a whole lot of sense for this movement to happen right now.
Now, you've mentioned that we've already seen some changes, but why does it take so long to make the change, and what alternatives will they be switching to?
Well, first of all, the science is not clear. So there is a scientific argument to eliminate artificial dyes, but it's not necessarily clear. I would argue that the decision to remove natural dyes is mostly political. And RFK Jr.'s agenda to make America healthy again is the perfect slogan to bring people together and naturalize the food system essentially, or getting rid of all the artificial ingredients in our food. This is just the beginning, and for Canada, it is really an important issue because it will impact Canada. It will impact Canadians for two reasons. One, of course, you'll have a lot of companies selling American products into Canada. Uh, but you'll also have Canadian companies selling products to the United States. So you have to comply to those rules. Well, implicit rules, because the thing about what's happening in the US is very interesting because it's all voluntary. There's no ban, there's no restrictions or anything like that. They're given 2 years. Companies are giving themselves 2 years to naturalize dyes. And so I suspect that if you are to compete in the US, you're gonna have to comply to that paradigm.
And with this Make America Healthy Again movement that is taking part in the United States, do you see Canada following suit and starting to make changes with some of the food and the dyes and things like that that they're putting out?
I would say so. I'm not entirely convinced that Health Canada will play a role, if any, really. I would say that probably the industry is looking into this and will likely look into reformulating some of the products. Rules are different in Canada, but we're not. There is no ban for certain artificial dyes, and so it's just restrictions are much more significant when it comes to the amount you can use. So that's mainly the difference we see in Canada versus the U.S., and which is why there's been l- less concerns, I guess, in Canada, or the issue has not been as politicized in Canada. But I do think that at some point, Canada or Canadian companies will actually have to kind of follow um, the movement, the anti-artificial dye movement that's happening right now in the United States.
Well, Dr. Charlebois, thank you for your insight. We appreciate it.
My pleasure.